Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Dave Cooper, Coffee with Dave on Saturday morning. I hope everybody is doing well this fine morning. It is a rainy day here in Red Bay, Alabama. That's where we're at, Red Bay, Alabama. It is going to get up to about 70, 75 degrees, I think, today. But nonetheless, it is pouring down rain, and I am sitting in front of a country store. I mean, what a great place to sit. There's a beautiful lake back over here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a million motorhomes and RVs all here. So, all doing the same thing we're doing here, and that is getting everything prepared for driving in our show. So, this is where the RV was made in Red Bay, Alabama, that we'll be touring the country in. I should say motorhome. So we're here finalizing everything to get this show started. Wow, almost 3,000 miles in. Can you believe it? I'm having a hard time believing it myself. All right, so we're going to keep going over the theme of what can we do differently in 2021? What can we do differently? And how did we start off this week, by the way? You know, one of the things we started off with on Monday, February 23rd is, what topics are you interested in? What topics are you interested in? Building materials, supply chain, building systems, construction tech. This is a big question. As we do this roadshow, we want to make sure that we are focused on the things that you are interested in. And these are all areas that we're going to be looking at. And then some. I mean, we're going to be talking about prop tech. We're going to be talking about fintech, technology just in general, supply chain, supplies, materials. All of these things are going to play a big role in what we are going to discuss moving forward on this roadshow. And it's going to be super, super, super important to have your feedback on what it is we decide to talk about day in and day out. We are going to be coming to you live from across this country, and we're going to be in different parts. So as everybody knows, we keep saying it over and over, and you can see the ticker down below. But with that said, that was Monday's conversation. Please go check it out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I love doing that. And Twitch, because we need the young folks involved in what we are doing. So please join us. Go to the YouTube, watch Monday's show. Please put your comments in there or send me a private message. I know a ton of you have already sent me private messages on what you would like to see in the show, and I think it's super, super important for us as we're out here trying to build this. And we are also looking for more guests for the show, always on the hunt for people that are doing it better, people that are doing it differently, people that are thinking differently. How do we become first place in our in industries? Housing should be the first place for the most innovative places to be. That's where we spend most of our time, all of us. Why do we not spend more time focused on how we build better, live healthier? It's beyond me. Can't keep doing it the same way, and we know that. All right. Tuesday, we discussed misinformation on modular. Do modular homes appraise for less? Okay, listen. Look, I'm in a rocking chair. It's probably make everybody sick, right? Do modular homes appraise for less? This is a question that comes up over and over again on Facebook. There's groups, modular home owners group, people looking to build modulars. And I watched this whole conversation happen. And yes, I couldn't help but put my 2 cents in on this. And the question was, are they going to, if I build a modular home, will it appraise less? And the reality of it is it should appraise more. It's better built. They are. You just can't argue it. I mean, yeah, there's some factories out there that are crossing the line from certain types of build to certain types of build, and maybe not the same quality as others. But the reality of it is you cannot cut the same 2x4 across the toe of your boot the same way on hundreds and thousands of cuts on every single project. Now, that's a comment from Jerry McCahey, so I'm stealing it. Yes, Jerry, I'm stealing your comment. Jerry McCahey from Integra, but he's absolutely right. There are a lot more benefits to offsite construction than people know, to include cost savings. Now, where is this important? Well, I'll tell you where. On the 22nd, right now, we're going to have Greg Ugaldi on the show. We're going to have Henry Mickelberg on the show. We're going to have Jerry McCahey from Integra on the show and others. And we're going to have a roundtable discussion on where the value in offsite construction is and why are not more site builders, production builders moving in this direction. or are they? See, there's a lot of things happening that people do not know out there, because, you know, when you get into larger builders in production worlds, they don't want to ruffle feathers. They have to be very careful on making changes, right? They're building across this country tens of thousands of homes. So there's a movement happening in offsite construction, and it's a wonderful movement, and we're going to keep growing this industry. Like I said, we're going to be first place. If I have it my way, and there's several other people on board, we should not be last place when it comes to innovation and technology. We should be doing it better than the car industry and everybody else. We compare ourselves to the car industry and offsite, but are we? We look up to them, but we should be changing that. We should make it to where they look up to us. Anywho, that's a longer conversation. So Tuesday we were discussing modular homes and do they appraise for less? And part of the issue with this is, I'm sure in some areas they might, but it's a lack of knowledge. It's a misinformation in regards to terminology. Are we building modular? Are we building volumetric? Are we building panelized? Are we building stick? Is it offsite with a hyphen? Is it just offsite? I mean, no wonder people were confused, but modular homes are no different than site-built homes other than the process in which we put them together. They should be more expensive, period, bar none, or at least at the same price. In my opinion, it's a better product, right? And we all know you pay for a better car, you get it, you know, it costs you more for a better car. Nonetheless, but it definitely should not appraise any less than a site-built home. And the reality of it is modular homes typically are not more expensive in general overall. All right. Wednesday product spotlight. We talked about product as a service. And if you didn't tune in on Wednesday with the product as a service, I showed, thanks to Jennifer, a John Deere video. Yeah, that's right, John Deere tractors. And this video is very inspiring, and it shows product as a service, and it should be very relatable to everybody in this industry, right? We use John Deere tractor, you know, backhoes and tractors and diggers, and as my kids call them, diggers. But how do you turn your product into service? How are you using today's technology to advance what you're doing? Watch that Wednesday show. Watch the video. If you do nothing else, watch the video on how they are using their product as a service for the agricultural community. They're not just selling them a tractor anymore. No way. They're not just selling a combine anymore. No, they're not. There is a whole plethora of services that are behind what they're doing from a technology standpoint. When they're out in the field driving, when they're talking about the soil makeup, and they're talking about what they need to be doing because of the weather's coming, and they're programming all of this stuff into their tractors, and they're managing emails and conversations. You have to watch the John Deere video. Go to this past Wednesday's show on our YouTube channel and check it out. I think it'll help you understand how you turn your product into a service. And we do it in housing. There are people doing it in housing now. We can do it a lot better than we are, though. Thursday, Miles and I talked about the top 5 reasons why you should be on social media. Why should you? Why shouldn't you? I mean, social media is changing our democracy. I mean, it's talked about on the Senate floor, good, bad, or indifferent, regardless of what your politics are. You don't have to like it, but if you're in business, you best be on it. If you're looking to grow who you are as a person, and grow who you are, and stand out from everybody else, you should be using social media, period, bar none, not even questionable. It's an amazing tool to help you stand out from the rest of the pack. It's an amazing tool for your business to help you stand out from the rest of the pack. I always say this quote, and I need to look it up to make sure it's still accurate, but as of last year, only 9% of small businesses were using YouTube. 9%. But yet 1 out of every 3 people frequenting the internet use YouTube. It's a missed opportunity just in that alone. You don't have to do video. You can blog, you can write, you can just share posts and join the conversations. This is what is powerful about increasing influence on Thursday and social media. You should be on it. Go check it out. What are the 5 reasons you should be on social media? What are the reasons you shouldn't be on social media? Heck, Even Greg Ugaldi, the immediate past chairman of the NAHB, was on that show. He joined us in conversation and talked about how it has changed what he's doing and has impacted and why it's impacted him. If you look at the comments, you'll see some of that. All right. I'm going to get to comments in just a second, everybody. Let me get through this week. Yesterday, what a great show yesterday. I know yesterday, integrating Passive House, QC, and industry standards, building commissions for enhanced building performance. Listen, having quality control and industry standards for building commissioning and so forth is such a big deal. And if you didn't see Building Science yesterday, and you think that energy standards and energy efficiency and passive house design or meeting certain standards to build more energy efficient, to reduce the impact on our grid. I mean, look at Texas, man. Look at what happens in California all the time. This energy impact on our grid is a huge deal. And in the housing market, we can impact that in a big way just by doing certain things. We can impact this. So we had some architects on yesterday that were doing this in a big way. I highly suggest you go and check out BS Friday, yesterday's show on our YouTube channel. You got to go there. You got to see what's happening. You got to listen to what the architects are doing and what the architects are saying. These are two of the best in the industry that we're on. You'd be foolish not to look at them. In fact, you'd be foolish not to watch every one of our shows on BS Friday and Increasing Influence. All right, let's see who we have tuning in this morning. Damien, loving the jazz. I know I've had that intro for a while now. I gotta shift it up a little bit. Any suggestions on how to shift up the intro with Coffee with Dave? I don't know. We gotta do something, but I love it too. I do. It kind of gets me going in the morning. I got my coffee. In fact, I'm drinking out of the old. Sorry about that. The old Penguins Yeti. Go Pens, man. At least hockey's back on. We got something to watch. So that's awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, good seeing you, Damien. Thank you for joining us this morning. Jennifer, good morning, everyone. Thank you for sharing your ideas, questions, comments as we come together and bring market awareness to those improving our environment. Can't argue that. Love it, love it. Greg Ugaldi, we really enjoyed your shows this week as you head into your new programming. I know, man. We are just hopefully a week out. You know, it's funny, Greg, you come up here to Red Bay, you know, it's first come, first serve. They told us that maybe we'll get in on Tuesday. So it's a waiting game. There is no scheduling appointment right now with this COVID. It's a come as you go thing. So hopefully we'll be out of here Tuesday. He said hopefully maybe Wednesday latest, but just all depends. So we are here in Red Bay until we get some things finalized on the coach. Loving it, loving it, loving it. All right. And of course, Damien from Ireland. And I want to get to Ireland. I want to get over there. We want to showcase what you guys are doing in Ireland and Europe and all through the world. As soon as this pandemic is over, that is where we are headed. I hope. I think that would be so much fun. All right. Right. Where are we at? Ooh, where are we going? Sorry, got some things going. Damien, how do you think the Biden decision on increasing carbon costs? How do you think the Biden decision on increasing carbon costs? I'm not actually 100% familiar with Biden's decision. I'm going to look it up and maybe I'll have some comments on that. I avoid political conversations like the plague on this show just because we don't want to rustle feathers. But that's really a policy conversation. So let me take a look at it, Damien. I don't know enough to comment on what Biden's been talking about on the carbon, but I think that might be a good conversation for our BS Friday show too, when we have some experts on, because we're going to have Doug Farr, I think, back on next Friday. That might be a great question to bring up on that show for sure. All right, intro, Heroes by David Bowie. They use it. Hey, listen. Heroes by they use it when I come on stage. I love it. So I have to check into that. Like, how do you get copyrights for stuff like that? I'd have to see. I guess you could buy the rights to play that. I'll have to look at that one. I love it though, man. Hero. That's an understatement for you, Greg. It's an understatement, hero. I love it. I love it. There we go. Damien's busy now. Will impact choice of modular over site. What am I missing here? How do you think the Biden decision on increased carbon costs, and then it says will impact your choice of modular over on-site? So I think if I'm reading between the lines here, well, you know what, Damien, I'm going to get into the Biden look up here. Maybe Jen, you have some comments. If you're in the background, you can look that up and give some info on that. But for sure, yeah. And I see Mark. Hopefully, Mark's joining us today. I think I got to go back to even Friday's show with Rob Hoskin, and Friday's show on building science and everything we were doing was it was a presentation that had just so much information on what people are doing out there, and I think it's such an awesome show. And that's why I keep going back. Damien, you got me thinking with the carbon and how it's going to impact. I think that's such a huge question. Join us Friday. Let's do that question on Friday. I know Mark's out there probably watching some of this stuff, so I'm going to put that in the comments with him, so he's ready to talk about it as well. All right, Jerry would have the flags out, and Damien S. Jerry would have flags in Monaghan for you. I love it. That would be awesome. I'm there, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to come to Ireland. I love Irish whiskey. I'm ready to go. Love Irish whiskey. I'm not a beer guy, but I am a whiskey guy for sure. For sure. Let me make sure I didn't miss any comments here. All right. So here's the deal. We're here, obviously, in Red Bay until we can get out of here. And hopefully that'll be Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We're heading back down into Florida, and that's where the show is beginning. And then we're going to release our calendar once we have all of this other stuff out of the way. On the way to Florida, we are stopping to get our rig set up for mobile Wi-Fi. That's right. This isn't your typical hotspot. We're going all out. We're looking at doing mobile Wi-Fi. In fact, I'm going to have something that I can literally carry into the middle of the wilderness and get a full Wi-Fi solution. So it's gonna be fun. Uh-oh, here comes Henry. I see it. The play, you're so vain when I walk. So I'll come back to that. So that's where we're heading after this. We're going to be somewhere in Orlando, around that area, Gainesville, I think it is. And then we're heading a little bit further south. And that's when we should be 100% ready to go once everything is set up in the RV. We got some installation stuff to do. So with that said, what do we have coming up Monday, everybody? Monday. We have NREL in the house. Yep. National Renewable Energy Labs, NREL. We're going to have Shanti Press, Anchor Potter, and Lucas Toffoli on the show. Now, what are we going to talk about? This is the great thing. Henry, maybe you even know some of this stuff, but the Dutch have a program that they are using overseas. Let me go over here and let me see if I can pull this up. Maybe Jen can put it in the comments as well. But I'm having a mental block. Energy Sprawn. They have a program called Energy Sprawn that they've been doing. They've implemented on like 5,000 homes. Their goal, I think, is 50,000 or 500,000. I got to look at the numbers. Lucas Toffoli, NREL, and others are looking at this and how we make changes in transforming energy within this country. Like, how do you take big buildings and retrofit them? Can't rip them all down. How do you retrofit them? How do you do things in a way that's cost effective, where the energy savings actually makes up the difference in the cost to retrofit the building, so there really is no cost to do it, and we can take an impact off the grid? That is just part of this conversation. We're going to have three pretty good names on the show this Monday. You need to check it out. Anytime you can have NREL on the show with RMI, and it's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be a lot of conversation. I highly suggest that you join us, because the energy crisis that we have in the country is real. Housing plays a big role in it. Buildings play a big role in it. What are we doing about it? There's a lot of people doing a lot about that. And guess what? There's a ton of money out there to do this as well. You need to tune in. If you're interested in this, you're interested in what the government is doing, NREL's doing, what they're looking at from a program perspective, how they're looking and researching retrofitting buildings. This is going to be the show for you. So join us, please. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Henry, the play You're So Vain When I Walk on Stage. You know what? Why don't I do a montage of all of these shows for you guys? I think that would be fun. We'll just pull them all together and do it, you know? Jennifer is helping me out in the background. There are global examples of how public policy and building codes impact construction and built environment. This would definitely be a good topic for BS Friday. Stay tuned. I agree. I agree. Week, don't miss it. Transforming Energy and the team from NREL. That's right. Next week, don't miss it. Monday, Transforming Energy with the team from NREL. It's going to be a good show, good show, good show. And of course, on Thursday, we have Scott Carson coming on the show. Scott Carson, the Note Closer podcast host, the Note Closer podcast host, is going to be on our show. Really looking forward to this show. Let me put it up on the screen here. Everything you don't know about real estate investing today. Now, again, this falls into what we always talk about, building, real estate investing, what have you. Here is another person who has taken it to the next level by starting their own podcast. You definitely want to tune in this Thursday for that. And of course, on BS Friday, we are on round two with architect Doug Farr. If you don't know Doug Farr, you should. He is one of the most predominant names in energy efficiency, passive house design. You need to join that show as well. All right, everybody. I've been rambling on already for 25 minutes this morning. My coffee is getting cold. I'm glad so many of you are tuning in this morning. I hope you're enjoying kind of the scene. Maybe I need this kind of background. I like this wood and blue. You know, the blue almost matches our colors. What do you guys think? Maybe I get some wood paneling in the new motorhome for our trip. Give us a good background. I love it. Got the American flag back here. See it? You can barely see it. Maybe I go that way a little bit. We're going to be traveling across this great country of ours, America, all year. At least 6 months, right, Jen? At least 6 months. All right, everybody. That's what we had going on this week. What we have coming up this upcoming week with NREL, with Scott, with Greg Farr, is going to be a great week. So please, Doug Farr. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. So we have Scott Carson Thursday, Doug Farr on Friday. We have NREL, Shanti Pless, Anchor Potter, and Lucas Toffoli on Monday. We definitely want you guys to all tune in for all of this. We're going to get back to doing some regular interviews in between all this chaos of getting ready for the show. So we appreciate everybody taking the time to join us this morning, putting up with our kind of off-topic conversations. I don't know if they're off-topic, but we've kind of just doing our best to keep everything together here while we have all these appointments and meetings this past week. So we will be enjoying having you guys in. Henry Nickelberg says they are retrofitting homes in Europe for 1 year basically for free because the carbon credits are worth so much. Well, don't give it all away, Henry. There's more to it than that, my friend. Absolutely, though. But guess what? We're looking at that program on this side of the pond as well, and they're working with some other people to have this conversation grow even bigger. So you're absolutely right, Henry. All right, everybody, listen, I got to fly. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'm looking forward to my Irish whiskey in Ireland. I don't need any flags flown for me, but that would be kind of cool. What the heck? If you guys have any questions or you know what you would like to see on our show, please do not hesitate to send me a private message. And if you or someone you know should be on our show because you're doing it better, you're doing it differently, we want to hear from you. This is your chance to come on the show, start your social media, you're increasing influence. Join us, join the conversations. We got big things coming up. Definitely would love to have you part of our community. All right, that's it. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm Dave Cooper. We'll see you Monday, 1 p.m. with NREL. Bye now.